Max Verstappen might be known as the Flying Dutchman, but despite racing under the Dutch flag, he holds dual nationality. Born in Belgium to a Belgian mother, he grew up in a Belgian town just on the Dutch border. In his own words, he would sleep in Belgium and go to school and see his friends in the Netherlands, so he feels more Dutch. But for the past 6 years, the Belgian Grand Prix has pretty much been his home race. Thousands of Dutch fans make the short trip across the border to see him, and he has plenty of Belgian support too. But when he hits the track at Spa, he's not had the best of luck. A flurry of mixed performances has meant that Belgium isn't the Dutchman's favourite place to race. So what's gone wrong? And why is it so important he fixes this Belgian curse in 2021? Let's take a look at his last 6 races in Spa and find out. Verstappen's first F1 visit to Spa was in 2015, where a storming race saved his weekend. He qualified 15th and started 18th after a penalty, but he worked his way up to 8th by the finish, thanks to a charge that included an epic overtake on Felipe Nasr around the outside of Francorchamps. This equalled his best career finish, and a positive rebound. And the 2016 race couldn't have started much better for Max. Thousands of Dutch fans had made their way to see their new hero at their most local race after he'd made the switch to Red Bull. And he rewarded them, storming to 2nd place in qualifying and becoming the youngest F1 driver on the front row in history. From the start, Max lost ground to the Ferraris behind, but while he made his way back through to 2nd at La Source, wing damage forced him to pit early. Max and Kimi battled throughout the race, with the Dutchman pulling off some controversial late defensive moves, but this was in vain as he could only make his way up to a pointless 11th place. Max went into the 2017 Belgian Grand Prix off the back of 3 successive DNFs. He fronted an all Red Bull 3rd row ahead of Ricciardo on the grid, but there was more pain in store. On lap 7, power unit issues forced Max to retire for the 6th time in 12 races, pulling over right in front of his adoring Dutch crowd. But those fans didn't give up the faith, and they were back in force to support Verstappen in 2018. Max was disappointed to qualify in 7th behind the 2 Force Indias and Romain Grosjean's Haas, but a nice overtake from Ocon along the Kemmel Straight set up a quiet race for Max. But he didn't mind, as he finally made it onto the podium at Spa at the 4th time of asking. Any hopes Max had of building on that form were dashed quite early on in the race in 2019. In scenes that mimicked that of 2016, Verstappen found himself on the inside of Kimi Räikkönen at La Source, off the line, but it was too close for comfort. While Kimi was sent into the air on 2 wheels, Max damaged his steering and was pretty much a passenger as he flew into the barriers at the top of Raidillon, clipping Kimi Räikkönen again on his way for good measure. 2020 was another quiet race for Max, but another success. In a year where Mercedes totally dominated, Max did well to qualify in 3rd and within 15 thousandths of a second from Valtteri Bottas. But he remained in 3rd for most of the race, but he did take another Belgian podium. So why is this so important going into 2021? Over the last 6 years, that season's world champion has won at Spa on 4 occasions. Lewis Hamilton in 2020, 2017 and 2015, and Nico Rosberg in 2016. It's a varied mix of high and medium speed corners coupled with high powered straights, making it an all-rounder circuit where the best cars really shine. So if Max wants to stamp his authority on the 2021 season, this is where he's got to do it. As we return from the summer break and head into the final stages of the season, Max will be needing to pick up as many points as possible. To do so with your first win at Spa in front of dedicated fans would be an enormous boost. Just ask Lewis about what it's like to win at Silverstone. And it's not just that Max will want that win, but those fans will expect it. With their man in his most competitive car since Red Bull were 4-time champions, the team will need to pull out all the stops for their first win on Belgian soil since Daniel Ricciardo in 2014. And should they do it, we can only imagine it's going to be pandemonium. #scenes. Make sure to book your tickets for the Belgian Grand Prix and be there, where you could witness a piece of Verstappen history. Head to motorsporttickets.com to book tickets, camping or hospitality, travel options, and make sure you don't miss out on what could be one of the biggest races of the season.